When it comes to holidays, the super rich have bottomless budgets and limitless expectations. Forget 5 stars, they expect to experience mega luxury and 7-star service that is on this planet, but out of this world. We've been given exclusive access to some of the finest resorts around the world and are taking you inside for a sneak peek into the lives of the uber wealthy and the people and places who aim to fulfill their every desire.
This bottle is $19,000.
We go under the silky covers.
The sheet that we're using is about 600 counts.
And into the Michelin star restaurants.
You come to experience something unusual.
To find the very best money can buy.
How much do you pay for a dream?
As well as the 24-hour service that makes these holiday destinations so exclusive and expensive.
If they're willing to pay for it, we'll make it happen.
When your bank balance is limitless, then so are your holiday dreams and demands. We've all heard of the Maldives, and we all know that it is pricey. But this time, we are at one of the priciest resorts of them all. You can see the attraction because it's in the middle of the Indian Ocean. You get those fabulous white sandy beaches and crystal blue water. And this resort has something special. It has the daddy of all villas, the largest standalone overwater villa in the world. In high season, this costs a whopping £35,000 a night, meaning that a 2-week stay here will cost you about the same as buying an average house in the UK. While this whole resort looks like it's in the middle of nowhere, and it kind of is, even a good book can get boring. So they provide lots of stuff to keep you entertained for the 2-week stay. Amazing food, private butlers, and a hidden cellar full to the brim with wine. Very expensive wine.
Cheers.
The resort has 260 staff who work across various departments. It's 7 a.m. and housekeeping are having their morning meeting to make sure everything goes according to plan. It's kind of like the calm before the housekeeping storm.
Today we have a special request. Mr. Brian, villa number 10, is requested to sleep under this star. Please make sure all setup is done before guest is back after their dinner.
Yes, you heard right. Despite paying thousands for the room, the guests want to sleep under the stars. And you can do that on Dartmoor for free. First off, the 15 villa attendants are briefed on all the people who will be checking in today and what villas they will be staying in. Once everyone knows what they are doing, they all head off. There are 45 villas to be cleaned daily across the resort. Today, we're following housekeeping supervisor Nafiz, who has been working here for 3 years. Under some serious time pressure, we join him as he heads for a villa turnaround. He needs to be fast, but thorough.
On the daily basis, from 8:30, our Gili time, we start our duties. We load up the boats and we start the journey.
But there's a little catch for this particular hospitality team. The rooms they're looking after are only accessible by boat.
We need to be really prepared before we left from our host area because it's really difficult as we are on the boat. We have to get back everything in different times. So we make sure everything is loaded before we left from there.
At this hotel, you can't just pop back to the room service trolley for another bar of soap. Every silk pillow and bottle of champagne needs to be brought over in one trip to give the team enough time to prepare each overwater residence to jet-set standards. After a 10-minute journey, the team arrives at one of the Crusoe residences. Covering 250 square metres of prime tropical lagoon real estate, the 2-storey villa includes a king-size master bedroom, semi-open-air bathroom, and a private sun deck terrace. And all this has to be meticulously cleaned within 45 minutes, despite the fact that it's a standalone structure built on stilts over the ocean.
We have to step in a very small piece of wood and we clean ourselves, and like we are the ninjas here. So we go anywhere and we clean it.
There are no smudges allowed on the bespoke glass floor panel. Specialist snorkeling staff even scrub the private ocean access steps. A villa like this costs in the region of £2,400 a night. For Nafiz and his team, the sand and salty air make cleaning difficult. This means making sure the island environment doesn't affect the 6-star fixtures and fittings.
Thank you. Especially this place is on the ocean and it's salty. A lot of times fittings like steel, stainless steel, this gets rusty. So in our basic daily routine or weekly wisely, we clean all the fittings on the villa, so we make sure everything is shiny and in a presentable way. The concept is rustic, but it's not rusty.
What's special about this resort is the huge choice of pillows.
There are 17 different types of pillows in housekeeping. There's the small pillows, which I'm saying is the fragrance pillow, like bergamot, rose, lemongrass, lavender, orange. Then we have gravity, neck support, snow reduction.
If that's not enough, there are also 4 types of duvet to choose from, and Nafiz has to make sure every requested detail is met before he'll sign off the villa for check-in.
So I make sure the wine cellar or the wines being labeled up so guests can read properly which wine is this. Well, 9 different types of wines will be here, including 3 types of champagne as well. I physically check all the glasses to make sure there is no fingerprints.
The rigorous inspection continues.
I'm strict on dust because there are some people who is allergic to dust as well. And this is the main thing in housekeeping, to make sure it's dust-free.
And finally, checking the aircon is just right.
I make sure the room temperature is on 17.
With everything in order, the villa is signed off. But that's just one of the 45 that have to get turned over every time a new guest arrives.
On to the next villa, thank you.
It's mid-morning and the front of house team are expecting their first arrivals of the day. Typically, after a flight to the nearby Mali International Airport, guests are greeted and escorted onto a private boat to the island, where they are met by a particularly smiley staff.
We find that our guests quite often come from very high-pressure jobs, very high-pressure lives. The moment they arrive on the jetty, they just feel instantly relaxed.
The big bosses around here are resort manager Matthew and sales and marketing director Roberto. They head up the whole team and have seen it all.
Our guests have all the luxury at home. They can have everything. And they come here for this understated luxury. They want that. They love it to not be formal, to be casual. It's all what they're looking for.
Inspired by the Robinson Crusoe novel, Gili Lankanfushi, who have just celebrated their 10th anniversary, encourages wealthy explorers to surrender to a simple life.
My name is Shazu. I am the acting front office manager. I look after front office operation. At Gili, we have no news, no shoes policy. We want guests to discover the unforgotten luxury of being connected with the nature on the island. So by collecting the shoes, you will be walking barefoot on the island on our white beaches, where you have ocean view, garden view from every angle, and we want you to be really connected with the nature, one step closer with the nature.
Not all guests are on board with the no news, no shoes sort of vibes, something Matthew has first-hand experience with.
She was instantly nervous. She told me that she bought 9 pairs of Christian Louboutins and she wanted to wear her heels everywhere and was very reluctant to give up her shoes.
I mean, I'm kind of with her, to be honest.
But once she removed her shoes, She said she would go barefoot. At the end of the stay, when they have to wear the shoes back to airport, they were like, "Shazu, why do I have to wear the shoes?" Like, it's very nice to be barefoot and to be connected. Yes, it's free kind of.
And the Robinson Crusoe vibe doesn't just end with the no shoes touch. Oh no. In the book, Robinson had a friend, Mr. Friday. Here, he or she is your butler.
So the Mr. Friday concept was born from the classic novel of Robinson Crusoe, where on the island, after many years, someone appeared one day on a Friday. So he named him Mr. Friday, and Mr. Friday became his best friend and his loyal assistant.
There are 12 butlers, or Mr. and Mrs. Fridays on hand across the resort.
But we don't use that word butler. They are your friends. They are here helping you to organize your activities, your experiences, and they help you when you need them.
Coming up, we visit the resort's most expensive villa, find out how much the elite are willing to spend on souvenirs.
Can you imagine the difficulty to bring a baby grand piano to the island?
And hear about the craziest guest requests.
Everything needs to be perfect, or else you're gonna terminate me.
Over 5,000 miles from the UK and slap bang in the middle of the Indian Ocean, the Maldives is one of those holiday destinations that makes you think heaven. We're in a luxury resort on Lankanfushi Island that offers the super rich a shipwreck chic kind of stay, with overwater villas that are only accessible by boat. Before the guests check in, we are getting a special tour of the resort's mega top-drawer flagship villa. It's called the Private Reserve. As the name might suggest, the villa is completely private, set 500 metres away from the rest of the resort on the edge of the lagoon. At 1,700 metres squared, the equivalent of 6 tennis courts, this is the largest freestanding overwater villa in the world. And in high season, a night here can set you back almost £35,000. It's absolutely huge.
Through this way is one of the 2 master suites in the Private Reserve. The Private Reserve boasts 4 bedrooms and can sleep up to 10 people.
So there's room for everything. A gym, cinema room, a personal spa.
There is, of course, the glass floors, so you can watch all of the wonderful marine life swim by as you are pampered to a massage.
Roof terraces, open-air bathrooms, because you can, and a private pool. I mean, it's not like there are any other swimming options nearby.
Of course, no suite in the Maldives would be complete without your very own infinity pool overlooking the gorgeous surf break and the Indian Ocean. You really don't even need to leave the Private Reserve.
Well, for 35 grand a night, it'd be almost criminal to leave. Guests also have access to not 1, but 2 Mr. Fridays, who sleep there too.
I like to have a direct contact with the guests.
Ahmed is the Mr. Friday supervisor and has been working here for a whopping 17 years.
I love my job.
Clearly.
Overall, I am supervising the team, plus I look after guests as well. From arrival to departure, anything that they required, we are there to assist them to make it happen.
Ahmed is running an errand for a guest when another call comes in.
Thank you for calling, Rashid. How may I help you? Sadly, I will be there in 5 to 6 minutes with the ice bucket. Thank you. Bye.
Easy enough, but some guests require more than a cool container. Some would like a shop, set up in their private residence, of course.
I look after a guest and they're requested to bring souvenirs to the villa. We contact a souvenir shop from Mali. It's same like as you can see our boutique. If you go there, it's pretty much same they set up for us. And then you know how much they spend? They spent $68,000 for that.
How much?
$68,000 they spent.
That's a lot of fridge magnets.
They brought it like really expensive things like a pearl necklace, things like that.
But not everyone gets a 6-star treatment.
If the guest requested for us, we would tell them, okay, I will be there in 5 to 6 minutes time.
You're not going to get that, Ahmed.
Sorry, it was my wife, so I cannot answer.
For the Mr. Fridays, when it comes to servicing the mega villa, it can be tricky. If guests fancy a specific snack or drink that's not been stocked, the Mr. Friday has their work cut out.
We will give a call to our culinary team. They will prepare it. We will take a boat from there, and ourselves we will come to the island, set up the tray, pick up the food, and bring it to the private reserve and serve to the private reserve as well.
And for the traveller who's seen it all...
So up here, we also have everyone's favourite addition, the slide. So far, I'm yet to go down it.
Oh, give it a go. It's little surprise this secluded villa is often booked by the hotel's better-known guests.
Athletes, Hollywood and Bollywood stars, politicians, royalty, you name it, we've had them come and stay here.
And with such high-profile guests accustomed to a certain lifestyle, you can bet your bottom dollar that the requests also become somewhat more elaborate.
We've had lots of extravagant requests here. If a guest is after something in particular, if they're willing to pay for it, we'll make it happen.
And one particular request has gone down in history.
We had a family staying in the private reserve, and their daughter wanted to play piano. So the father asked us to source a piano for their daughter.
And then we arranged the piano from Mali to bring it down here. And then we set the piano in the private reserve arrival lounge area.
Can you imagine the difficulty to bring a baby grand piano to the island? It was quite a logistic operation to bring it to the private reserve on top, because it is more than 500 meters away from the island.
We did. We made it work. We got it all tuned up, and for the week that she was here, she didn't touch it once.
She was more busy with sliding down the water slide.
What? This one? Well, if you can't beat them, join them. Right, Matthew? While Matthew messes around at the mansion villa, the personalisation team are busy preparing for guests who will arrive in the coming days and weeks. Personalising everything is so important here. It's got its own department. Manager Nian is always thinking of things to stick people's names and initials on.
We do a lot of personalized experience, and in fact one of the recent one that we started was putting all the guests' names in the menu. So once you come to a restaurant, you will have a personalized menu. It's one of the wow factor for all the guests who comes here. So as soon as you come to the breakfast restaurant, there will be a hostess who know who you are already, and as soon as you come, she will welcome you. Then we also have the same system followed in lunch and also in dinner. So throughout the day, you have the same experience that you have your personalized menu throughout your stay.
But the personal touch can get dramatically less personal if you spell someone's name wrong.
We have to make sure everything is spelled correctly. We have the arrival and departure memo where we can look at the name spellings. But of course, some of the names, especially from Europe, and we're not so used to it, so sometimes we have to be really careful. Even one letter can mean something different, right? So we have to be very careful about it. Yes.
As many as 40% of the clientele here are these all-important repeat guests. To keep them coming back over and over again, the personalisation experience gets even more elaborate. This whole department and the variety of workers are dedicated to creating the bespoke small touches for the big spender guests.
My name is Nashab Ismail. I'm an assistant carpenter supervisor. We have to do some guest private villa name boards, and sometimes long stay guest. We will arrange some interior decorations for them.
As each residence is provided with bikes, They make individual name badges so the guests know which is theirs.
Every day we have to make 4 or 5 bicycle ticks. It's personalization. We have to give a good memory on Gili.
And these are stored in case they return again.
These are the repeaters guest bicycle ticks we will keep for their comeback returns. Some guests are like 15 times repeaters also there. My favorite name is Columbus.
As a repeat customer, Nashak has seen Columbus grow over the years.
I saw him, he is a child before. Now he is grown up. I am very happy for that.
At another workshop, skilled in-house tailors produce monogrammed guest clothing.
Our senior tailor, Mr. Shyam, he's been here for the 18 years. He's doing the very personalized and the very unique style of the things. Those who are visiting us for the more than 5 times, we offer them personalized bathrobe. We personalize their initials on their bathrobe. We provide them. Most of the guests, they are really happy about that.
Personalisation is not the only thing that gets attention to detail. Chef de cuisine Abraham is making sure everything is getting prepped properly in the kitchen of one of the busy restaurants.
I've been here for 8 years now. It's my second home. There's a lot of guests who want to come here in the restaurant because of their reputation around the world.
We have a captive market. All of our guests, they can't really go anywhere else. We're on an island in the middle of the ocean, but still, they're used to eating the best in the best restaurants, top quality ingredients, so it's really important we deliver on that.
And that's where Chef Abraham's boss comes in, Executive Chef Harry Govindaraj. He leads over 50 kitchen staff across the resort and oversees the fine cuisine.
So we are playing with the local ingredients, but fusion. For example, I can say risotto, basically yes, it's from Italy. But we are playing with Maldivian style. We put the smoked tuna inside. We put the fried curry leaves inside. I'm telling, even though one of the Italian guests said, "Oh, chef, the best risotto we ever tried." So that's what we want to try to give here. It's not mean, oh, Italian guest coming, I can't cook the risotto. No, I cook the risotto for you, but I'll give the different experience of risotto. That's what we are doing here.
Chef Abraham is in the By the Sea Japanese fusion fine dining restaurant, set in the tropical jungle where Japanese food is prepared with a Maldivian twist. Today, Chef Harry and Food and Beverages Director Rodrigo are paying Chef Abraham a quality control visit. Tough job, as you can see.
It's our premier restaurant. We have 5 tables, so on top of the food having to taste great, it's very difficult to get a reservation here. So when people are here, it needs to, be solid.
Today we're going to be tasting one of the expensive dishes in our menu. This is very important. It's not about it's expensive, but the quality is very important.
Coming up, we meet the team who keep those beaches looking perfect.
Sometimes my teams climb up trees and palm trees to pluck coconuts so it cannot fall on anyone's heads.
Yes, everything needs to be perfect, or else he's gonna terminate me.
I mean, if we don't do it, then, the small imperfections that maybe we find, the guest is going to have to find. And this is exactly the opposite of what we want.
The heat is on for Chef Abraham.
Someone really messed up in the kitchen, I think.
And a group of guests go in search of sharks.
The first time you swim with a shark is quite an interesting experience.
We're in the Maldives, behind the scenes, to see what it takes to satisfy the billionaires and super wealthy who can afford to stay here. Today, Food and Beverages Director Rodrigo and Executive Chef Harry are carrying out a spot check on the quality of the resort's Japanese fusion restaurant. Is it up to their high standards? Chef Abraham and his team are under the spotlight.
I have 4 staff. So I have 1 teppanyaki chef, I have some sushi chef, I have working in the hot range and working in the cold appetizer section.
First up for the taste test is the restaurant's famous Wagyu A5 Kagoshima. imported from Japan over 4,000 miles away.
So this is a prime beef. So you can see the marbling. The more marble that you have, the more expensive it is.
Because of the way the cattle are raised and fed, these steaks cost over £100 each.
The fat melts easily, and the smell, you can really smell it.
So here we have a Japanese Kagoshima A5 Wagyu steak with some grilled vegetable with confit onions and garlic chips. The doneness is medium rare.
There's a lot of pressure to make it perfect.
By looking, I'm not feel like it's a medium rare, but I can enjoy it. Like
it's very one of the difficult situation when somebody will gonna talk about your food. They gonna criticize you, especially the executive chef.
To your satisfaction?
The garlic, yeah.
Yeah, the garlic touch is nice, but not overpowering.
No time to waste. The lobster thermidor is up next.
So this is what I'm most looking forward to.
So we're gonna grill with the butter and garlic, and after that, we're gonna finish with the saiku miso. And after we finish plating, I'm gonna caramelize it and top with the spring onion.
Oh, this is lobster. It's lobster. Yeah, I like this one, like a local lobster. But maybe I'll tell them to serve a little bit extra sauce, maybe in the side, a little more. But I really enjoyed everything.
Seems like a success. Now for the moment of truth.
So, how's the food, chef?
Someone really messed up in the kitchen, I think.
Oh, Rodrigo, you kidder.
Everything was perfect. It really is good. Like I enjoyed with that onion and garlic combination of beef and stuff.
Yeah, no, it's great. It's just, you know, one small touch here and there will make it perfect.
So, just a bit more sauce to hit top marks. Easy.
I accept it as a positive, you know. There's some small changes to change, but overall, it's good. So, yeah.
While the team in the kitchen works super hard to make plates of food look delicious, they aren't the only ones hard at it. Behind the scenes, this perfect Paradise Island look doesn't just happen by magic.
We do have a very large and dedicated team of gardeners who, throughout the day, even before you wake up in the morning, have walked the beaches of the resort, carefully raked them, manicured them, constantly keep the grounds looking as fresh, clean and tidy as possible.
We join head gardener Sajal and his team on the daily job of making sure the island is constantly at its tip-top best and picture perfect.
The guests all over the world, they the beautiful white sandy beach. So our team and me is a responsible person to keep the beach even and soft and safe for them. And if there is any rough weather, we chop down the broken tree branches and clean the island.
And there's no length or height they won't go to, including sweeping sand so it looks great for your holiday snaps.
Sometimes my teams climb up the trees and palm trees to pluck coconuts and clean the dry branches.
And that they're also safe when you strike that all-important pose.
We make sure our guests are safe here, so we pluck all the coconuts from the public areas so it cannot fall on the anyone's heads.
Oof! 4 Falling coconuts aren't the only concern though. Being a small island in the Indian Ocean, the resort is in a constant battle with nature.
Nature likes to take sand from one end of the island and dump it to the other. So throughout the year we have a series of operations where we have to pump sand from one place to the other and allow the tide to then carry it back naturally.
And it's no mean feat.
My name is Ahmad Majid and my job is Chief Engineer.
The sand looks beautiful, but it's so soft and fine that it is easily swept away with the tide.
What we noticed is if the wind is over 30 knots speed, then there is the current against the waves. It creates the very strong waves. It will wash the beach within 2 to 3 days. We have a sand barge with a very strong pump, which can pump about 35 cubic meters a minute. See what happens when the beach erosion starts. One side it develops, the other side it erodes. The beach sand doesn't go away. It remains in one corner. It's moving. So what we are doing is that we are just moving the sand back where it was before.
And so every 2 months, Ahmed's team moved the sand back to where they need it with a pump. Keeping the beaches looking on point isn't cheap. The pump alone costs £53,000, and they spend even more money doing all this shifting of the sand annually.
If we don't do sand pumping, and it will erode more, but of course it will be slow because the hard part of the island starts from here. Then also the palm trees, there's a possibility of palm trees falling down.
And there's a knack to creating the perfect beach line to stop it looking manufactured.
When we are pumping, we are not leveling it up. What we are doing is we are just filling the sand where the water comes and goes, the waves come and go. It will naturally level up the beach. Yes, it's works to maintain the beach and our guest is happy.
While Ahmed continues moving the sand, marine biologist Hayley is taking a group of guests out into the Indian Ocean to snorkel. The Maldives has been ranked one of the best recreational diving destinations in the world, and the gang are off to see why.
How's everyone feeling? Ready? Yeah? Great. It's really easy for guests to see a massive array of life all across the lagoon. You've got the turtle species, mainly the hawksbill and the green turtle. And then we've also got black-tip reef sharks, white-tip reef sharks. The first time you swim with a shark is quite an interesting experience. The sharks we have here are black-tip reef sharks. They're super gentle creatures. They just want to mind their own business. And they're quite curious, so they'll come by, but they'll come by close enough to enjoy them, but not close enough that you get worried about how close they're going to come to you. We've also got whale sharks and manta rays if you want to take a boat to go a little bit further afield.
After swimming with the sharks and lots of other fish, you'll probably need to be fed and watered. And that's exactly what Charlotte and Freddie from London are doing in the resort's well-concealed wine cellar. This Bond-style, fully stocked cellar was built in 2005, boasts 10,000 bottles in 500 different vintages. Personally, I'm happy with a cold bottle of rosé, but hey.
There was a family stay in a private resort, so they stayed just only a couple of days. So within that couple of days, so they spent more than $40,000 only for the wine expenses. Yeah, such a big money. Yeah.
And taking centre stage is a feature that pays homage to the island's history, as well as their sustainability ethos.
The centrepiece of that wine cellar is a large tree which made its way here from, we believe, Indonesia back in 2004 when the Maldives were struck by a tsunami. And the walls in there carefully encompass a range of recycled timbers from around the resort.
There are 3 fully trained in-house sommeliers to take guests through a splendid selection of wine and cheeses.
So my name is Gayana Indika. So I'm from Sri Lanka. So I'm a certified sommelier, Court of Master Sommelier.
And Gayan naturally knows his stuff.
Starting from all the US, some of the best red wine selection, and Spanish, some of the best white Burgundy, some of the best white Bordeaux. And that shall we have more Italian, French.
Collectively, the posh plonk here is worth over £1.5 million. And these bottles have been imported from all across the world. Enough variation to satisfy even the most ardent grape lover. Or so you'd think.
In my time here, we have had to basically hire someone in France to go out to a winery, to a distributor, pick up some wine and physically fly it to the Maldives so that the guests could have the specific wine that they wanted.
If champagne's your jam, there's 36 types to choose from here.
So in our wine list, so the most expensive champagne is a Crystal Rosé, so $2,500.
And if that makes your eyes water, this may leave you seeing red.
This is something very special I want to show you. This is our most expensive red wine in the list. So this is Latache Monopole property from the Domaine de la Romane Conti, 2016 vintage. With taxes and service charge, we are selling this bottle in $19,000 above. Yeah.
Blimey, $19,000?
Would you like to open the bottle?
I think I'll stick to the water, thanks. Coming up, the team are tasked with preparing a bespoke dining experience for a newlywed couple. From the perfect ingredients...
the perfect size for two people to enjoy the dinner.
...to creating the romantic setting.
We personalize our service to its best. You will not see the true beauty unless it's dark.
Maldives, a mega hit with the super rich. And with its picture-perfect vistas, it's a particular favourite for couples and is consistently ranked one of the most romantic holiday destinations in the world. And this evening, we're with a team from the resort who are preparing a magical candlelit meal for two guests on their honeymoon.
The destination dining is unique because we have a team that basically will go out and start setting up and putting the decorations out sometimes 4, 5, 6 hours before the dinner itself. No two destination dining are the same, so they really kind of cater to the guest.
We're back with Executive Chef Harry, who is on the pontoon to inspect today's catch.
If I can't give the fresh fish, what else I can cook it fresh, okay? I can't tell you, oh, I'm getting the meat every day fresh. No, nobody can't believe that one, okay? So the fish, we're in the middle of the ocean, so we do every day fresh seafood. So tonight we have the special destination dining. The guests choose to have like the whole steamed fish menu. Ali, just bring the, no, that bucket. Yeah, that one.
Ali is one of the trusted fishermen of the resort, who knows exactly the high standards that they expect.
The fisherman is doing fish delivery for us like the last 17 years. It's a personalized fisherman. It's next to our island. So it's very easy to communicate and everything's very easy.
Even still, each fish is checked and must meet Chef Harry's strict criteria.
You can check the scales. Is it tight? You can see the no gaps and something. When I touch, I can feel the freshness of the fish. I can see the temperature of the fish, and the eye brightness is more than enough for us. So he also knows how much we check. The quality is most important.
First, he has to choose the fish for the honeymooners.
Our favorite fish, that's dogfish. I can say like Indian Ocean sea bass, something like that you can say. You know, sea bass, how crispy the skin and tender and soft, it will come like that only, this fish. Even this fresh, that's perfect size for two people to enjoy the dinner.
But then there's also the small matter of the other guests and 260 staff to consider.
Fish we will be buying for a lot, like 30, 40 kilos per day, because for the guests plus staff also we're buying. And same time we got some more local mackerel fish. So this one actually we ordered for our staff meals.
Satisfied with the selection, they load up the buggy and race back to get prepping for the couple's dinner. But on the beach, the weather is not playing ball. Mohammed and the front of house staff are preparing the al fresco dinner for the newlyweds, but are a little behind schedule as they've had to adjust their plans at the last minute.
So we are setting up in the beach because that side is too windy.
Luckily, there's no shortage of white sandy beaches for them to choose from.
We do it in Jetty 3 Beach, Palm Beach, Yoga Beach, And also, if the wind is okay, then jetty to beach is also okay. Is also an option. Yeah.
You have to pay an additional cost for a personalised setup like this, but the staff go all out to make it a romantic meal to remember forever.
We can literally do absolutely anything. We did a dinner with, I think it was 2,000 candles for a guest who wanted to do a proposal. So our biggest beach on the island was just littered with candles.
Back in the kitchen, Chef Harry is working on the local Maldivian fish course.
So we go some lemongrass inside, some coffee lime leaves, some basil, some pepper here, crushed pepper.
When you are paying top dollar, you want to be able to relax and unwind, for everything to be perfect. So the food and service needs to be top-notch.
Obviously, we have guests who spend a lot of money. In the time that I've been here, we had one guest who did a destination dining, and they spent, gosh, it must have been more than $60,000 on a single dinner. It was 4 individuals, and yeah, I mean, they knew what wine they wanted, they knew the setup that they wanted, and they didn't really care on the price tag.
We are dining in the beach. Okay, I don't want to go for so much herbs and everything fly off. So we need to make it very simple, nice, and I want that food flavors and taste need to be speak itself.
On the beach, the team is still busy creating a bespoke setting.
We personalize our service to its best. You will not see the true beauty unless it's dark.
And the romantic dining under the stars setup is ready, with minutes to spare.
Everything's good to go, and we are just waiting for the couple to arrive.
With Daniel and Anna en route, all that remains is for the food to arrive, and the team don't want anything to go wrong.
As a chef, for me, it's very important. What I'm doing here, I need to make sure it's going the same way to the guest. And it's very important that when the return coming, the plate should be empty. So I want to make sure that one is going the right things to the guest.
Oh, welcome. So here we are at the Palm Beach for a very special dinner, Mr. Daniel and Mrs. Anna.
Oh my God.
And right on cue, just as the couple sit down, the food arrives. All that is left to do is for the couple to relax and enjoy their bespoke dinner under a blanket of stars.
The sauce was here for you. Yeah. So along that steamed fish, I have some stir-fry noodles. We have some coriander rice. So please try and enjoy.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you.
The Maldives may have only opened up to holidaymakers in the 1970s, but since then, tourism has boomed and is now its largest economic industry. With its sunshine, amazing beaches, and crystal clear waters, you can see why it's a particular fave of the world's millionaires and billionaires.
So I have worked here for like 13 years. I love meeting different people from different cultures and backgrounds, and to learn about them and also to share my story with them. I love doing that.
And if you get the chance to come here, it might be worth spending some time on a treasure hunt.
We recently had a guest who, they were intensely fighting with one another, and they had a bag with, this is a true story, with 30,000 USD in cash. And a result of the fight is that one of the people threw the bag in the ocean in the middle of the night during a fight, and the bag was not found. The bag was basically lost. So we had the whole team searching the next morning, and no one found it.